36th anniversary of Tiananmen Square massacre, the US and Taiwan reaffirmed their commitment to remembering the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre, highlighting ongoing censorship and repression in China. Trump criticizes China's Xi Jinping. Former President Donald Trump described Chinese President Xi Jinping as extremely hard to make a deal with amid escalating trade tensions. US doubles metals tariffs. The US increased tariffs on imported steel and aluminum, urging countries to submit their best offers for trade negotiations. Ukraine conflict updates. Ongoing coverage of the Ukraine conflict includes key updates and major headlines. South Korea elects new president. Opposition candidate Lee Jae-myung won South Korea's presidential election, signaling a shift in the country's political landscape. Poland's presidential election results. Conservative candidate Karol Nawrocki secured a narrow victory in Poland's presidential election. Sudan's ongoing civil war. Sudan continues to grapple with civil conflict, with recent developments including the dissolution of the transitional government. US-Iran nuclear negotiations. The US and Iran have resumed nuclear negotiations, with talks held in Oman and Rome aiming to reach a new agreement. Upcoming NATO summit in The Hague. The 2025 NATO summit is scheduled for June 24th to 26th in The Hague, focusing on defense funding and membership discussions. Nepalese pro-monarchy protests. Thousands in Nepal have rallied for the restoration of the monarchy, expressing dissatisfaction with the current government. US imposes visa restrictions. The US has imposed visa restrictions on Central American officials linked to Cuba's forced labor medical program. Finance Bill 2025 in Kenya. Kenya's Finance Bill 2025 is set for its first reading, sparking public interest and political activity. Canadian Liberal Party leadership change. Mark Carney has been chosen as the new leader of Canada's Liberal Party, succeeding Justin Trudeau. US sanctions on Sudanese officials. The US has imposed sanctions on Sudanese military leaders over the use of chemical weapons. Iranian protests and energy crisis. Iran faces ongoing protests and an energy crisis, prompting renewed international attention. TriNet recognized as top workplace. TriNet has been named one of the best companies to work for by US News and World Report. Global trade negotiations intensify. Countries are under pressure to submit favorable trade offers to the US amid looming tariff deadlines. Education rankings released. A new report lists the top 10 most educated countries in the world for 2025. PSG's Champions League victory. Paris Saint-Germain's 5-0 win over Inter Milan in the Champions League final led to widespread celebrations and subsequent riots in Paris. Colombo added as neutral venue for Women's World Cup. Colombo has been designated as a neutral venue for the upcoming ICC Women's 50-over World Cup. Magnus Carlsen defeated by D. Gukesh. Indian chess prodigy D. Gukesh secured his first classical win over world champion Magnus Carlsen at Norway Chess 2025. PV Sindhu advances in Indonesia Open. Indian shuttler PV Sindhu progressed to the second round of the Indonesia Open, while fellow player Sen withdrew. Neeraj Chopra Classic rescheduled. India's premier javelin event, the Neeraj Chopra Classic, has been rescheduled to July 5th in Bengaluru. Architecture Aptitude Test (AAT) updates. Registrations for the AAT exam closed on June 3rd, with the exam scheduled for June 5th and results to be announced on June 8th. Joint CSIR UGC NET exam schedule. The Joint CSIR UGC NET exam is being conducted from June 3rd to June 23rd, 2025. Rose and Jerry's release sparks debate in Kenya. Software developer Rose and Jerry's release on bail after creating a website for public feedback on Kenya's Finance Bill 2025 has ignited discussions on government handling of dissent. German occupiers flee Rome anniversary. June 4th marks the anniversary of German forces fleeing Rome during World War II in 1944. Daily horoscope predictions. Astrological forecasts for all 12 zodiac signs provide insights into love, career, and finances for June 4th, 2025. Morning briefing by Anadolu Agency. Anadolu Agency provides a comprehensive morning briefing covering top stories from around the globe. Euronews Morning Bulletin. Euronews offers a video bulletin summarizing the most important stories from Europe and beyond.